Welcome back from an ad break. Now let us continue by looking at question 2 examples, of which the topic we are looking at will be finance. Now question 2 example, it was adapted from KwaZulu-Natal September 2022, and we are looking at question 2.5. It says here, Mr. Avon decides on using EFT for any transaction. Table 2 below shows the transaction fees that will be applicable. Now remember your terminology. A transaction is any activity that will be happening in your bank account, whether it's a credit or it's a deposit, whether it's a credit or a debit. Now looking at the first question, it says you may use the following formula for an EFT transaction, that is the formula, and 2.5.1, it says calculate the missing value of C. So on the table there we are, we can see the missing value of C, and C appears on the transaction fee. So it means we will be using this formula. So now from the given formula, the transaction fee is equals to 2 Rand plus 1.20 Rand multiply by or part thereof. So now when we look at the value of C, it appears on the transaction fee, and above there's an amount that appears, of which it's 1,000. So remember, we've said firstly you need to find the number of 100 Rand notes in the amount that you are given. So in this case we are given 1,000. So we say 1,000 divided by 100, it will give us 10. So it means we have 10 100 Rand notes. So we are going to substitute here by the value of 10 so that we can find our transaction fee. So in this case, our transaction fee would be 14 Rand if we work this out, having your 2 plus 120 multiplied by 10. So the transaction fee will be 14 Rand. Next question, 2.5.2, calculate the missing value of D. So when you look at the missing value of D, it appears on the amount, then below there's a transaction fee of which you are charged off. So we need to find how much money was deposited or taken out of the account. So now using the same formula, the transaction fee is what we are looking for, and then we are going to say equals to, the transaction fee we are given. So we are going to start by substituting the transaction fee, of which is 32 Rand, being equated to 2 Rand plus 1.20 Rand, and we need to find out the amount that will be represented by the value of D. So we can multiply this by any variable. It can be A, it can be X, it can be Z, it can be P, because now they all represent the unknown. Now in this case, we need to work out. We are going to bring down the 32 Rands, and then we are going to say minus 2 Rand, of which it's taken on this side. Being taken to your left hand side, it will only change from a positive to a negative. So now in this case, we have a multiplication. So we know that we multiply. So we are going to multiply 120 with our variable, of which is A. So this will give us 120 A. Because now we are multiplying, we are going to remove the operation of the multiplication sign and leave it to 120A. So now, because we are simplifying, or we are solving for A, we are going to divide both sides by 120. What you do on the right must also be done on the left. Then 120 will divide 120, and then on this side you will have, on this side, your left hand side, you will have 32 minus 2 rand, all being divided by 1 rand 20, and this will give you 25. 25. So 25 will be represented by your value of A. So here it's 25. So now 25, 100 rand notes. Remember, we need to determine the amount, or we need to show the total amount. So 25, we are going to have 25 100 rand notes. 25 multiplied by 100. So we're going to multiply this by 100. So remember, when we are looking for the number of notes, we divide by 100. So in this case, we have the number of notes, we are looking for the amount. So we multiply by 100. So our value of A would be 2,500. 2,500. So that will be our value of D. Then we move on to the next question, of which it was adopted from Gauteng, November 2019, and we will look at question 2.2.1. If the total cost price for a pack of 6 pens is 21 rand, what is the cost of 1 pen? So now in this case, we have a 6-pack of pens, and it says the pack is 21 rand. So we need to find out the cost of each pen in this pack. So we are going to say 21 rand divide by 6 to get the price of 1 pen. So this will give us 3 rand 50. It means each pen will cost 3 rand 50 from this pack of 6. Then we move on to the next question. Palisa decided to sell 1 pen for 7 rand. Calculate the percentage profit he will make. Now we are given the formula here. It says the percentage profit is the selling price minus the cost price, all being divided by the cost price. And because we are looking for a percentage, we are going to multiply this by 100. So now, substituting what we have, remember they've said the cost of each pen, it's 3 rand 50. So we know this from the previous slide that it was 3 rand 50. So now in this case, the selling price, it's 7 rand, and the cost price, it's 3 rand 50, being divided by the cost price, of which it's 3 rand 50. Then we multiply this by 100 because we are calculating a percentage profit. So working this out on your calculator, do not forget to multiply by 100. Then it will give us 1%. So this will be the percentage profit for Palisa. Then we move on to the next question, 2.3. Palisa's parents decided to invest a lump sum of 10,000 with the CTI Bank to save up for her matric farewell in 2 years' time. The CTI Bank offered them interest rate of 6% per annum for a period of 2 years at simple interest. Now the question says, what is the final amount that Palisa's parents will receive from the bank after 2 years of investment? So now in this case, remember, we need to write what we are calculating. So we are calculating the simple interest. So we are going to look at our principal amount, multiply it with the period for the investment as well as the interest rate. So now we have the principal amount of which it will be invested. It's 10,000, and this is multiplied by 2, of which is the period, and the interest rate from the bank, it was given at 6%. So 6% is 6 over 100. So now in this case, working that out, in order for us to have the interest first that they will accumulate. So firstly, the interest will be 1,200. So this is the interest. So now we need to know or check the total amount that they will accumulate by the end of this investment. So you're going to say the total would be 10,000, the principal amount or initial value. Then we add 1,200, of which is the interest they will accumulate. So in total, it means Palisa's parent will have 11,200 saved up for Palisa's matric farewell. Then let us continue. Next question. It was adapted from the Eastern Cape question paper, November 2019, question 2.4.2. Banele spends a total of 3,700 on electricity and rent combined. So it means they are joined together, the total amounts. Then if the ratio of electricity to rent, so it's electricity to rent, is 1:4. Determine the amount she pays for electricity. Now, when you work with ratio, firstly, you write your ratios down. So this would be for you to say 1 plus 4, it gives us 5. Then from there, we are going to take the first ratio, of which is 1. So you're going to have 1 over the total when the ratios have been added together. So you're going to have 1 over 5 multiplied by the amount, of which is the total amount combined together for both electricity and rent. Then for electricity, so now remember we must also indicate what are we calculating. At the top there you can write electricity, or at the end you can indicate that this is electricity. So now in this case it means 1 over 5 multiplied by 3,700. It means Banele pays 740 rands for electricity. And then we can also calculate for rent. It's going to be the same procedure. You'll have 4 over 5 multiplied by 3,700. So this will give you 2,960, and this is for rent. So now when you add these two values, they must give you the total amount of 3,700, of which he is paying for electricity and rent. Now we are going to take a quick ad break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.